In the decades after the Second World War, waves of young Sicilians abandoned the Mezzogiorno for better prospects in the factories and wet green fields of England's Lee Valley. Joe Coletti's father was one of them, and Sam Canatella's another. Coletti Sr. arrived in the UK as a boy of 13, set to work on local farms to help his family, and soon bought his first small plot of land, eventually joining forces with Canatella Sr. to purchase a much bigger site at Smallford in 1977. One handled the growing, the other sales and operations, and together they built their business, Glinwell, into a major producer of fresh tomatoes, peppers and cucumbers for retail partners around the world. Almost 50 years later, their two sons now fill the same respective roles within the company.
We was already in the business from a young age, from 16. We took on the business to what it is today and we developed it further. So there's still two families that run it. Sam, again, is in charge of sales and the operations, and I'm in charge of the growing, and together we run the business.
Joe is speaking amid a sunburst of colours within one of the company's vast greenhouses. The long British cucumber growing season has been underway since February, and the air inside carries the fresh scent of that harvest, with the first fragrant peppers and tomatoes of the spring now just coming through at the time of our visit in April.
So we grow peppers for Spinneys, all the different colours, Californias. We grow the Palermos, which you see here, which is a red variety. We grow large vine, cherry on the vine, and cucumbers. We choose the right retailer for our needs because it is about quality for us, and Spinneys is a great customer who appreciates quality. Because we are the growers, the packers and the distributors, we're in charge of the whole supply chain, so it's very important to us to find the right partner to sell our product.
The Glinwell domain now extends over some 100 acres, spread between 5 separate sites in England, plus another 450 plus acres at a Spanish production division that keeps up supplies through the winter months to help ensure a year-round operation. And while there's not much to be done about the weather back home, high-tech glasshouses effectively protect the plants from the worst of it.
So the benefits growing in a glasshouse is that we can create our own climate. The only thing we can't do is have natural sunlight. We're relying on the outside weather, but other than that, we can control the temperature, humidity, CO2, the irrigation.
Matt Simon, head of growing at Glinwell for more than 20 years, talks us through the holistic systems by which irrigation, temperature, humidity, ventilation and air circulation are carefully managed to cater for each individual plant according to its needs. Process-wise, he says, there is less difference than there used to be in the treatment of conventionals and organics, except that the former are grown in spun-woven slabs of volcanic rock and the latter in cultivated soil. Inaugurated in 2004, the organics range has since occupied the Tower Nursery on the same 5-acre family farm that Joe's father bought at the age of 17.
It's one of our long-standing organic productions. It's one of the family nurseries as well, which makes it very special. We've put a lot of time and effort in getting the soil to a really alive status, which allows the crops to get away. The grower there is very organically focused as well, been doing it all his growing life with us. And the tomatoes, we're choosing varieties specifically for organics and for what the customer would want. It's the best options available to provide the taste, the flavour and good growing plants as well.
What organic farming means in practice is using all natural fertilisers and byproducts to stimulate activity, as well as introducing natural predators such as mites and parasitic wasps to neutralise crop hostile pests, and bringing in hives full of bumblebees to pollinate those plants that benefit most.
Some plants need pollination to actually get good quality or any kind of fruit. Cucumbers generally don't. We don't see any bees in the cucumber crop, naturally self-pollinated, so it works really well. Peppers, tomatoes and aubergines especially do need bees, and that's all about either getting the pollen to move and cross-pollinate. Also, it's about getting good quality as well. So while peppers will self-pollinate, the best quality is when you have a bee visiting the flower. So we'll input bees regularly throughout the season to try and get the best possible quality out of the crop.
All that natural activity only increases biodiversity and helps towards sustainable land management.
So sustainability is very, very important to us. It allows us to help develop the local environment as well. So we will help, as well as managing internally within the structures, we also manage our lands as sustainably as possible, which helps bring about sort of natural predators, increases biodiversity around the site. We look after the water. We have some streams on some of the sites, so we start developing and cleaning the water with reed beds and a nice flow, constant flow. Within the systems itself, we're looking at what we can do to minimise our energy usage. Obviously, a glass house and heating a structure like this is very, very heavy on the energy. So we will get the best possible boilers. They're both gas-fired and, as an emergency, can be fired on oil. We'll take the CO2 out of it, take all the flue gas out. We'll push it back through a big pipework system back into the glass houses themselves to be utilised by the crop. So that means virtually nothing goes up the chimney, so there's next to no emissions going up the chimney at all. We're utilising the heat, we're utilising the CO2, we utilise everything possible out of the systems that we're in use of. In respect of water, we look at what we can do to minimise the use and recycle what we do have. So all of the glass houses, even the organics, have some kind of collection system. We will apply as what we need for the plant, but anything that runs off, we will then collect, we'll bring it back through, clean it, pasteurise it, and put it back through the system again, which minimises fertiliser inputs, any soil-borne contaminations, everything and anything. So it actually helps sort of to improve the local environment and minimise water wastage as well.
Efficiently and sustainability as the business now runs, the owners are still driven to marvel at what their father started. It's interesting that the Lee Valley's pack house industry was largely built by Sicilians. Funny too that some of the freshest, healthiest staples of a Mediterranean diet are today sent out to Spinneys from the depths of a rainy British valley.